The chat room is already fired up. We got Addison making crazy statements because it's like barely March. And we got a lot to talk about. It's Ask DLF. What is up? Welcome to the show. You can call it Taco Tuesday, whatever it is. It's also Mardi Gras today. Tyler, did you know that?
Apparently. That's what I heard.
It is a lot of great festivals going on here in New Orleans in honor of Mardi Gras. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. And the goal of the show here is we're going to answer as many fantasy football questions as possible. Tyler, I said this on Twitter. I believe it to be true. Does anybody answer more questions than us on this show?
Well, I mean, I do on Twitter, but
on YouTube.
No, I don't think Tuesdays. So. But I answer the most questions, more questions than anyone else.
I'll find the right thing that it is like our claim at some point. Anyway, I'm your host. I am at Calvin and Hobby. Make sure you're following me. He is Tyler. He has a brand new @ Make sure you see that Tyler FF Creator. Make sure you are following him as well. And he is literally somebody who writes a bunch of articles, does a bunch of things. Tyler, any words of wisdom right here today, March 1st, that you'd like to share with everybody?
Words of wisdom. I mean, if you're watching this show anywhere other than the DLF YouTube channel, go to the DLF YouTube channel. It's simulcast on a lot of places, including my YouTube channel. There, you won't find much chat there. But you know, it's there in case you found it that way. But yeah, go to the DLF YouTube channel. You should be able to find the link. And that's the link that I shared. I don't have any particular words of wisdom, really.
Those were great. I thought that was very wise of you. I was sitting here the whole time like, wow, Tyler's very wise. Very, very wise today. If you have watched the show before, then you know what we're about to do. I appreciate you tuning back in. We're about to answer a bunch of questions. The chat room, like I said, is already on fire, and it's the best chat room in the history of YouTube. That one I'm confident of. Love the interaction, and that sometimes we get 30, 45 minutes behind here, but the chat is like answering each other's questions and working it. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask as many as possible. We will get to as many as we can. We usually get to almost all of them, if not all of them. And we're going to set that goal again today. Tyler, are you ready?
I was born ready.
First thing we have to talk about is Addison coming in hot here. Now, there was another comment about Addison prior to this that ultimately just about a video that Addison released, basically saying he would rather have Tua Tagovailoa than Trevor Lawrence.
I watched this alleged video that Addison may or may not have published. And, you know, Addison knew that coming into this show that I would be asked about it. He knew. I told him that it would definitely come up. And I don't agree. I don't agree. I actually very strongly disagree. I couldn't disagree more. And he knew it was coming. And yeah, I think that I will go out on a limb and say that is Addison's worst take ever. His worst take ever. So that's my opinion.
Well, you know, I'm not sure if that means there's a lot to compete with there or there's a little to compete with. Addison's usually pretty smart, so maybe that's a good
most
thing.
Of Addison's takes are pretty good.
Right.
That this is not that crazy. I've heard crazier. But yeah, this is not good.
I think that I would like him to continue to say it because I would like to buy more shares of Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, please.
And be able to sell the shares of Tua. I like Tua, but if we're going to pump him up above Trevor, man, I'm going to enjoy the profits on that one.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure that's not the last time that will come up, but we will move on and get to Todd. What's up, Todd? Appreciate you tuning back in. And he says, what do I need to add to the 103 to get Zach Wilson in the 12-team Superflex?
Add to the 103. That question is not phrased correctly. It's the other way around. I don't think you need to add to the 103 to get Zach Wilson.
That's probably about the right value, right?
That's insane.
So you wouldn't give the 103 for
Zach absolutely Wilson? Not. I mean, why would I want to give the 103 for someone who already has failure?
There's not a quarterback in this draft.
We don't want more failure. We already have a whole year of failure. Big failure. So we're gonna give up now a top 3 pick for failure. I don't want any part of that. I'm not doing that. That sounds like a terrible idea.
Okay, so you've changed your mind then, because you've said
No,
that Zach Wilson.
I didn't change my mind. Just giving up the 103 is insane. That is ridiculous.
He'd be the 101 in this draft if he had come out this year.
He came out as a prospect, yes, but now I have a year of failure. A year of failure to count against him. A lot of failure. So he's not a prospect anymore. So he's way lower than he would have been. But you're right. Zach Wilson coming in as a prospect would have been the 101 this year. But this is not Zach Wilson as a prospect. It's Zach Wilson after a year of failure. So that's a very different situation. Because we know he didn't come out and light the world on fire year one. That's a big strike against him. Because the really good quarterbacks, mostly they do. They don't, most of the time they do come out and are really good year one. So we have to count it as a strike. I mean, I've lowered Trevor Lawrence's value almost around from where I had it last year. So I still have him pretty high, but it's almost a round lower. So I counted against him too.
All right. Interesting. Wow. Coming out hot here. Okay, good. Tyler Nelson, not Tyler, the fantasy creator. Tyler Nelson says, what's your strategy at QB for a Superflex rebuild? Specific targets this offseason. We've had a couple questions like this. So what do you think? Like, as far as your strategy, if you're basically like tearing this down, you had Tom Brady and maybe you have Matt Ryan. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, you could try to get younger quarterbacks, but forgetting that, I mean, I just submitted the article about quarterbacks to trade away, unfortunately. So that's not, if I was quarterbacks to trade for, it might help you a little bit more, but it wasn't. So yeah, I mean, I would trade away the older quarterbacks. We know this. I mean, who was included in my article? It was Matt Ryan. It was Aaron Rodgers. I mean, shocker, the two oldest starting quarterbacks in the league are the ones that were included. That's probably the least surprising thing in the world. But, in terms of a target of who to acquire, you're looking at the really young players, Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, maybe, depending on how much he costs. He's a little expensive for me. Looking at this February Superflex ADP. Yeah. I mean, I could go for Mac Jones for some reason, took a tumble. I can get him at quarterback 21. I'm doing that all day. Is that good enough?
Try to trade Tua for Trevor Lawrence. That's my first move.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
And but then so outside of that, I guess my question is, would you? I guess the follow up to this would be, and I don't know what the rest of Tyler's team looks like, but if you're gonna rebuild, do you start with quarterback, or where are you looking to start? If you're deciding this is the year I need to rebuild this team.
Well, I'm not starting with running back. Running back, I don't want. But I could start with quarterback. I could start with young wide receivers. I could go either way. Depends on what kind of quarterback I get. It's not quarterback in general. It's younger players. The one thing I just don't want is running back. Don't want running back. You don't start with running back. But could be young wide receiver. I'm fine building around Jefferson. Chase, and that's not the first time I've done that. Chase and Jefferson. If I can build around them. If I can build around Kyle Pitts, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. But it won't be a running back. And quarterback, I mean, if I could build around Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, that kind of player, Mahomes even, I would be happy to do that.
Love it. Bassmaster 81, Superflex 12 team, CeeDee Lamb, and a 2023 early third round. Okay. Or Godwin in a 2023 late first round.
This would have been different before Godwin tore his ACL, but after, I'll take Lamb.
I am with you. I think I want the better player there. So TikTok 08 just completed my first startup ever, 12 team. Superflex 1.75 tight end premium, and I ended up trading down 6 times. 3 2023 first, 4 2024 first, plus extra seconds and thirds. Did I get too cute?
I have no idea. Like, I don't know. This was the... I don't know. What did you trade? This question is very vague. I would say sign up for my Patreon and I'll go through your startup with you and look at it round by round. But just generally, I have no idea. It's possible this was good. Possible it wasn't. Depends on what you traded away to get it. Yeah, I don't have enough information to answer this question.
In general, this is kind of my goal, right? Like, I kind of want to, in the first year of a startup, like I want to do this. I want to collect extra picks, especially going into 2023. And then find 2024 as well. I think those are really good moves. I think that's like, based on all the information that I have here, you did good. Like you pulled off what I hope to pull off. The bad news is every time I have ever pulled this off, the league folded the next year. That's anecdotal.
Right.
It doesn't have anything to do with your league, but every time I've done this, the league has folded the very next year, and I hated it. But anyway. Okay. Biggest trade was 208 for 508, 1008, the 23 first and second. So picking it up being Trevor Lawrence at 208.
That's still a lot, though. 508 it's still going to be a good player and a first, second, and another player later. That's not bad, even if it was Trevor Lawrence.
It's not bad. Patrick, he agrees with Addison. So Addison, you got somebody. Maybe the worst part is that Addison, you are taking people with you. Maybe that's the worst part of this whole thing.
He's not. I think I'm a little bit louder, but we'll see.
Oldak, not in love with moving Higgins, but is an early 2023 first, late 2023 first, and likely mid 2024 first enough? 3 first for T. Higgins. What do you think?
I guess so, but in a 14-team league, who knows where those are going to fall? I don't know. I mean, probably, but this is not the kind of deal I want to do. I want to get a different actual player and a pick instead. But sure.
I think if you're getting an early 2023 first, and like he says, it can't guarantee the pick position, but that's pretty good.
I know.
That's going to be the value for Higgins. Like that's about the best trade I think you can get for Higgins right now. You're not going to get better than that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Depends. There are some people. I posted my Dynasty wide receiver rankings today, and there are some people who are, very high on T. Higgins.
Trogdor, you've also tainted Trogdor here, Addison. See what you did? You tainted him with your Lawrence hate.
Don't worry, it'll be fixed very soon.
Eric Crawford, James Robinson, Visca, a 2023 late second, or 2022 110 in a 1 QB league.
I mean, this is a lot of crap on the other side. I guess I'll take the 110, but okay. I don't want the 110 in this class that much. But I mean, this other side could be nothing.
This was just me showing disapproval of Addison from his own account here. So I just thought I wanted to do that. Trogdor, Cal, enjoyed your trade commandments on Twitter today. A lot of solid responses. I've read like one of them or two of them, maybe. I almost immediately had to go to a baseball thing after for my kids, and I heard my phone going off and felt it in my pocket and have not looked at almost anything. I know Dave Richard came off the top rope with a great one. I won't repeat it here.
I mean, that'll be the only baseball you get this year. So
yeah, well, no, look,
enjoy it.
The MLB might be broken, but baseball is fine. I'm going to get a lot of good baseball this year, even if the MLB sucks. Okay. Let's go to best 2774. 10-team Superflex PPR, Team A, 108 and Galladay. Team B, Brandon Ayuk. Which side do you like more?
I'll take the pick.
Okay, so 108. We've got some ADP data now.
We do.
Mr. Tyler. 108, we're looking at something like Chris Olave, maybe? That's kind of where his...
I think we're going to do better than that in a Superflex.
Yeah, so maybe Kenneth Walker. Well, yeah, it's Superflex, you're right. So let me switch over here.
Oh, I'll still take the 108.
Drake London?
I'd rather have Drake London over,
okay.
I think, at this point, over Ayuk.
All right. Interesting. Odak, how much does your opinion on Saquon change if he gets traded from New York Giants to a better situation? Have been shopping him, but no bites, potential trade targets, or pick levels you would try and bail at.
This happens, and I'll include this in the article just to promote my other article that I wrote about getting rid of Saquon Barkley immediately. If this happens, trade Saquon Barkley that day. Don't wait. Trade him that day.
Well, where is he going that's going to be a better situation is my question.
Anywhere.
Literally anywhere?
Where would be worse?
Minnesota.
Right, but that's not realistic. Where realistic, someone that could actually trade for him would actually trade for him. That's going to be worse. Where's going to be worse?
So that's what I'm saying is, where would that be? Like Le'Veon Bell went to the Jets and was no longer heard.
Kansas City. How about that? Kansas City. We can put my two least favorite players on the same team.
Kansas City's fool's gold. Nobody wants to.
And then they can sign Juju there. That'll be perfect. They can sign Juju and trade for Saquon Barkley.
And like Carson Wentz can go be the backup.
Yeah, exactly.
Chiefs trade for Barkley. I just think this is the kind of thing.
I didn't see that comment, by the way, when I said that.
If you have a player that you want to sell, this is the rumor you want. You want them to sign with the Chiefs so you can get rid of them, because somebody's going to be hopeful, and then you can sell hope. And that is what you're trying to with Barkley, is sell hope.
Realistically,
you can't sell production.
Nobody's trading for Barkley.
Maybe. All right. Eric Crawford, if Godwin signs with the Bucks,
he's going to. So
I think so too. Are you holding or trying to get as much as you can while he's 26?
I mean, I don't think people are that interested in trading for Godwin right now when he's injured. So I think you have to hold him.
Yeah, he's a hard one to move. I think there's I don't mind that, but what is he, 24?
Will be 26. Actually, he is 25? Already 26. He turned 26 in February.
Okay. Yeah, so he turned 25 last year. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's 26. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's the kind of guy that, like, if you trade him right now, you're going to be selling him at a point that's lower than you could have. Wait till you get some workout videos. Wait till he's, posting him squatting 450 pounds or whatever, like Nick Chubb did on Twitter today. Whatever he was doing.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. It's an ungodly amount. Like, I moved him up my rankings just after watching that. Not
maybe
really.
I should do that.
Don't do that.
I'm not actually going to do that.
The best 2774. Sorry for another question. Look, don't ever apologize for another question. That is literally what we're here. It's in the title. Ask DLF. Like, we want you to ask these questions. Who are some young wide receivers you guys are targeting in your leagues? Thanks.
Elijah Moore, T. Higgins, DJ Moore, especially Jalen Waddle. I mean, I know those are all good players. Everyone likes those players. CeeDee Lamb, people seem to be pretty out on him for reasons. Amari Cooper may be gone, seems like. So, yeah, is that a good enough list?
I'm going to go down a little bit and try to see if I can pick your brain a little bit on that. So what about, there was a time you kind of liked, I'm going way deep here, so I'm in the 70s in terms of wide receiver. What about like KJ Osborne? There was a time that you kind of liked KJ Osborne. Any hope?
Late there's some hope. Yeah, sure. I don't mind taking a flyer on him.
All right. Nico Collins?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
How about, let's say, man, KJ Osborne is at 71.
It's a little low for me.
Nico Collins is 75.
Yeah.
How about
75? You said wide receiver 75. Yeah, I have Nico Collins at wide receiver 53 and Osborne at 64.
So those are probably good targets for you. Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Oh, absolutely not.
No?
No, he sucks. He sucks. He's terrible. He is actually terrible. He is terrible. He doesn't do anything well at all. He's awful. He's one to skip. Skip him.
Not him.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here's one that is so popular right now that I don't understand. Diami Brown.
No. Diami Brown is a bust. There's just waste of time.
KJ Hamler.
I didn't even know he was still relevant.
Dwayne Eskridge.
No.
I was trying to find, I can't find my guy. Deontay Harris is my favorite one.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of really good metrics for him. I hope they get a decent quarterback for a number of reasons, but I think for him, like, there's a chance he can really pop.
Maybe. I mean, Michael Thomas is coming back allegedly,
which would be good, I think, for him.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
When Michael Thomas was good, nobody else was usable at all.
Right, but like, there's nothing wrong with having another good wide receiver. You just don't want 4 of them, but like when the competition is Lil Jordan Humphrey, eventually you start taking out the guy that's catching passes.
Sure, but who is the best Saints complimentary wide receiver in Michael Thomas's time? Did they have one usable one in that entire time? I don't think so.
Claypool, Tony, Elijah Moore. I'm not sure what this is in reference to here.
Young wide receivers.
Oh, okay. There you go. FF Lefty, happy Taco Tuesday, boys. You love Taco Tuesday. You love that that's become a thing, don't you?
No, I don't.
Tyler Reeves getting back in here. Love it. Got offered CD 107 and 207 for Amon-Ra, Michael Pittman, 103 and a 2023 first.
So
I have an first in one Superflex. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Okay, yeah, I'll take the 103 package side because obviously I'd rather have the 103 and the 107 and much rather have then a 23 first. Pittman and Amon-Ra for Lamb, the 207 is maybe about right. Honestly, probably on the package side anyway. So yeah, it's pretty clearly the Amon-Ra package side.
Okay.
Not that close, honestly.
FF Lefty added another 2023 first. It was a good day. Hey, that reminds me that Ryan McDowell has declared this as trading month, right? So we need to make a lot of trades. So make sure you go out there and make a lot of trades this month, like especially send a bunch of offers.
Yeah, if you make trades and tag me, I may share them on Twitter and promote Dynasty Trade Month. Every additional person you tag in addition to me reduces the likelihood that you get that retweet, though.
Benjamin Paul, 12 team, Superflex 106, or Lockett and 204.
106. You need more than that? I mean, Lockett is a descending asset. I just want the 106 is actually going to be a good player. 204 is going to be crappy.
I was just giving it room to breathe there. That's all. Room to breathe.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Talon Lee, 12 team, Superflex. Which side do you like? Dak, JT, Ridley, or 5 2023 first?
Dak, JT, and Ridley.
Okay, so JT's worth how many of these first?
Probably 3. And Dak is also worth 3. Pick that side.
Wow. Yeah. Would the team matter here? Like,
I mean, maybe a little bit, but there's 5 of them, so it's hard to say.
Right. Wow. The only way you make this move, if you got 5 2023 first, the only way you make this offer is if you think you're closer to competing than you thought you might be, and you're trying to use these picks to give yourself a win now. Bring up your championship window. Is that kind of what the guy on the side of the first is thinking here?
Well, yeah, I mean, you would only trade for these players. It's odd to get Ridley in there, though, because Ridley is who knows where. Right. And, I continued today when I did my Dynasty wide receiver rankings. I kept hearing Ridley will come back. Ridley will come with certainty. People were certain. And I have no idea how you know that, because today, the Falcons general manager, Matthew Berry, retweeted this. So it's not bullshit or garbage or anything like that. The Falcons GM today was asked point blank, do you have an update on Calvin Ridley? It wasn't maybe somewhat this, that, or the other thing. It was no update whatsoever. Nothing. So if you're a win now team, getting Ridley is a little bizarre, but whenever Ridley comes up, I just want to say there is no evidence to say that he's coming back at all. And that was today. Today, that quote from the Falcons GM, no update at all. Just keep that in mind. Do not count Ridley as part of your contending plan. You can't count on him.
I guess this is the one situation where I'd be okay with him being included if I already think that the other 2 players in the deal make it a
Well, I'm not going to turn him down. I'm not going to turn him down if he's included, and I would do the deal anyway. But I don't want to assume that he's going to have a lot of value. It really, honestly, I've always said that I don't know whether he's going to come back or not. And you have to take everything in the range of outcomes from he comes back and it's like he was before to he doesn't come back at all. But I'm telling you, it really pisses me off that there are people who are so certain that he's going to come back, and they talk with certainty about it. And you just can't be certain, especially when the news and the reports it's all secondhand. There's nothing from the actual Ridley camp at all. 0. since the day that he left.
I like to peruse YouTube when I'm not, just see what's up, what everybody else is kind of talking about at times. And I was watching a show last week that was like, which team is he going to? And it was there. They didn't even mention the fact that he just may not show up at all.
It's, this is what we have today is we have people who would rather have more views and, put out a dishonest narrative. And that's fine. I mean, we have whole companies that are based on that. They reduce actual quotes to misleading headlines. And that's why in today's world, you have to do a little bit more research when you're actually reading these things. You can't just take the headline as fact. And that sucks that's the world that we live in, but it is. So you just be careful what you read. Be careful who you trust.
It's almost like we need a show that like tries to separate like true information from misinformation in the world of Dynasty fantasy football, like the Dynasty Refinery on Saturdays, which you make sure you go check out, which has been a lot of fun.
You're getting better at when the plug is easily set up for you and actually taking advantage of it. You're getting better at that. I'm proud of you.
Gator Sins retooling 12 team, 1 QB. All TDs are worth 6 points. Give Deshaun Watson. Get 2 likely early 2023 seconds. I have Mahomes, Lawrence.
1 QB. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that makes more sense.
And Gator loves the show. Thank you,
I'll take the seconds in a 1 QB. Not 1 QB. Watson may come back, may not come back, but the 23 class is going to have a lot of running backs and wide receivers. It's good quarterbacks, but I'm really excited for running back and wide receiver. Very excited. So I'll just take the picks at this point. Yeah.
Yep. Here we go. Waylon Davis, do you value a wide receiver QB stack? If so, enough to go out and make a trade to acquire a wide receiver quarterback combo?
No. Do you want more than no? If you're in a best ball, yes. If you're in a regular dynasty format, no. Stacking doesn't help you win.
You know who's a big fan of this in Dynasty?
Who?
Addison.
Why? The data doesn't back that up at all.
We love you, Addison.
The data doesn't back that up at all. There's no... The reason why stacking works in a best ball is because you only put the points in when they're good. So if you have 2 scores that are good, the odds are that you're going to get that higher scoring week one at a time. But if you actually have to pick them in advance, it doesn't work that way, because then you get the penalty of when they're both bad. You have to take the penalty with the good. Whereas in a best ball, you only get the good. So that's why stacking is a best ball only concept. And I'll put this in the article just for me to say no in 200 words, but in case there are people who don't watch the show and only read it. But this is one of the big things I'm about is a big no to this question. So
I'm okay with you making a trade that improves your team that happens to give you a QB wide receiver stack, but don't trade. I'm trying to think of an example, don't get a worse wide receiver just so that you can have a stack. It's not.
There's no example. I'm fine with having a stack, and I'm fine with not having a stack. All I care about is value. This is completely irrelevant to me one way or another. I'm fine with it either way. No problem with it though.
Jack Ward, if Zach Wilson was in rookie drafts, he wouldn't go top 5. I don't think that's true.
Zach Wilson, the prospect, or Zach Wilson today? Remember, those are not the same thing. Zach Wilson today, we have some very important added information that he didn't come in and light the world on fire. So his value is way down from where it would have been if that were still a possibility. Zach Wilson, the prospect, absolutely is the 101 in this class without question. Without question. It's actually not even close. He would be the 101 in this Superflex rookie draft by a mile. And it would not be close. I'm telling you, you don't believe me, but it's very difficult for people to do who aren't actually analysts to turn back the clock and go back to what Zach Wilson was a year ago. I can do it because I wrote an article about Zach Wilson pre-draft. I remember writing it. I can pull it back up later. But if you're just, a more casual dynasty manager, turning back the clock is more difficult. Trust me, Zach Wilson, the prospect, would be the 101 in this class easily.
And so I just went and looked back at February. So literally a year ago this time, which would have been February, would have been released the ADP right at this time. Do you know where Zach Wilson was going last year in a better class?
In what, rookie draft?
Yeah.
I'd say 8th.
5.
Oh, that's very high.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have been.
So if he was going 5,
very strong class.
last year at this time. You're telling me you don't think he would go 5 this year, this time? Like that's.
Well, I mean, he shouldn't have been going 5 in Superflex rookie draft because like there were many. I mean, I never had him ahead of Harris, Chase, or Pitts ever.
I mean, went 2 in the real life draft. I mean, it's not like it's crazy.
No, it's not crazy. That's also the other thing. He went 2 in the real life draft. There's no quarterback this year who's going to go in the top 5.
Right. Exactly. Salsa 19. I have elite wide receivers and quarterbacks, but need an RB1 and tight end 1. Why? But Salsa, you don't have a lineup to set right now. Why do you need one?
Yeah. Well, that's also true.
I mean, you got to think about it at some point, but like you don't need one. You don't need one. You want one right now. Have 103, 104, 2 2023 first. Go in with trades or be patient through the draft. What do you think?
Patient. I mean, you can always explore a trade. You never know. You never know when a trade could come along. You can look for a trade for a running back. I mean, if it's good, then it's good. But if it's or tight end in this case, but if it's not, then don't force it. You got to be patient. But you never know. I mean, sometimes it depends on your league, really. There are some leagues where these deals are easy to do. You can get a lot of good steals, and there are other leagues where people don't want to trade and it's stingy and you got to be patient. So, I mean, the best thing you can do, there's 2 things. One is you have the trade question, bring it here, and I'll tell you whether you should do it or not. That's the first thing you can do. If you think of it later, ask me on Twitter. I'll answer it. The more details, the better, but I'll just pick a side for you. But yeah, I mean, brainstorm some ideas. And then, worst case, what's the worst case scenario? The trades are declined. And then you're where you were before. And then you can be patient again. Not a big deal, right? You can't lose anything by making effort in trying to make trades. Nothing to lose.
Love that. And I love this. Waylon is answering Talon's question from before that we talked about with JT and Dak and all, saying keep his players. So agree with you. And look, that's one of the greatest things about this chat room is you guys keep this up. Ask the questions, jump in and answer questions. I think that's great. Eric Crawford, Calvin, your Twitter mentions you're a Fowler 4. Do you find that one earns a higher attention share, or do you spread the ball around pretty evenly? I have 3 boys and 1 girl. So take your guess about which one gets the most of my attention. Giddy up. What up, gents? Moving Chase for Higgins / DJ. Higgins.
DJ Moore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is it DJ Moore or is it Deontay Johnson?
Doesn't matter that much, actually.
Okay. Higgins, Waddle, Higgins, Elijah Moore, 10 team, 3 wide receiver, 2 flex.
Okay. So Higgins and Waddle, absolutely. That one I'll definitely do. Let's say that's DJ Moore. That one we're kind of, I would say I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about Higgins and DJ Moore for Chase. That's probably, but I'm not loving it. Like Higgins and Waddle, I'm like, okay, boom, I'm going to make that trade. Fine with that return. Higgins and DJ Moore. And then Higgins and Elijah Moore. No, that's not enough. Chase should carry extreme value, and that's like straight up value, and that's not good enough.
And I kind of think his value goes up even higher in a 10-team league here.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So, because you value studs more. I covered that in last week's article in one of my deeper questions. I covered that, which you can find on the site on my author profile. So I did cover that in detail. So that would make me less likely to take the Higgins and I don't think I would take the Higgins and Elijah Moore package in any format, though. I don't think so.
Talon, he was the one offered the 5 picks. He's got 7 2023 picks. So that's pretty good, dude. I don't know. I might just sort of see how things play out, and I might be a little bit more patient with that.
Sure.
Patrick, this is an interesting question. It's one I actually thought to say.
Well, I did answer it, though.
I stopped because I didn't want to belabor it, but okay, if Zach Wilson's failure, why isn't T-Law? Not trying to troll. What's the difference?
But I did answer it. I lowered Lawrence's value a significant amount. I did. He moved down about a round of value. Actually, at this point, it's weird. There's something up with the DLF ADP. It's not. I will tell you, and I know this. Trust me. He's not going in real life drafts where this ADP claims he's going. I have not seen Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence. The ADP says that he's a second rounder. The only time I've ever seen Lawrence go in the second round is when I've picked him there. Most of the time in the Patreon drafts, he's gone in the third. So if Lawrence really carries the value that the ADP says he does, then he's not even a buy. But he doesn't. Trust me. But even so, if you have Lawrence in the mid to late second, where I have him now, that's a round lower than I had him last year, where I put him in the mid to late first as a rookie. So, yeah, I've penalized him around for this season. Not as much as I've penalized Zach Wilson, because to be honest, I was a lot more skeptical about Zach Wilson in the first place, and he showed all of the things that I was skeptical about, that he may not actually be good. Whereas with Lawrence, I'm still hyper confident that it's going to show up eventually.
So it looks like, so I was curious about that too. When you said that, it looks like there's actually one draft that's like weighing on that a little bit heavier. Like there's an outlier of, he was taking like right at the turn in that 1, 2 in 3 of the drafts, pretty much. And then one draft, he went 25. So he was actually third round in one draft.
Right. But then the outlier is where he's actually going. I'm telling you right now, he is not going at 11, 13, and 15. He's not going there. He's not going there in real drafts with real people. It is not happening. Nope. Have you ever seen him go that early? Because I have not. With money on the line? With money on the line, you've seen him go 11? You've seen someone take him in the first still now?
I've only done one startup and there was no money involved since during this season. So I have to go look. But
he's gone in the third every single time. So
great value. Gosh, that's awesome.
I agree with you. I just do not buy this ADP for a second. I know it's not accurate for the market. So I think that there is a selection bias in the DLF Superflex ADP in general. I believe that it self-selects people who are more likely to take more quarterbacks early than your average league. So I am often skeptical of, like, Zach Wilson is not actually a 4th round startup pick in any draft I have ever seen, but he is, according to this Superflex ADP. So I don't buy it. And, I just hope that this goes to show you that I'm not biased toward DLF's data. Just because it comes from DLF doesn't mean that I'm automatically going to say I agree with it. If I disagree, I'm going to disagree. It's like I disagreed with Addison.
Well, sometimes Addison's just wrong.
Addison is really smart, just for the record. In case
the thing is, he's always
clear.
right so much. Like I feel like I need to, with this one, I need to pick at him a little bit. So
Addison is one of the few YouTube creators that I actually watch. Yeah. I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I mostly listen to podcasts, but he's one of the few YouTube creators I actually do watch.
He knows he's out there a little bit on this one. He's got some people out there with him. He's not alone.
No, he has more supporters than I thought. But also, I think the fact that he has more supporters than I thought tells you that this borderline 1st round startup pick for Trevor Lawrence is not accurate. There are clearly way too many people who don't feel that way about him for that to be his ADP.
T. Murphy, 12-team Superflex PPR, heavy, tight end premium, 2 per reception. I have Travis Kelce. Should I keep him in this format until he retires? If not, what sort of return should I be looking for in a heavy, tight end premium format?
Well, I mean, if you're competing, yes, keep him until he retires. Why not? He's going to 2 points per catch. He's going to be a big difference maker in that format. If not, I mean, in a 2 point per catch premium, you got to get a big return in exchange. I mean, what could you get? Like,
you're not going to like it.
You're not going to like it, but DJ Moore right now, you're not going to like it. Plus.
To me, the move is like, I think you settle in your mind that you're comfortable taking the rest of his career. But if things don't go your way in the beginning of the season and he stays healthy and is producing, you're going to get more in season.
Correct. But I mean, let's say that you were, I don't know, you were competing last season. You were competing and you just lost in the semifinals or lost in the championship game. You were competing and now you're here. And now you're not sure if you're competing. You might be competing. You might not be competing. And then, you can do that. Take the first couple of weeks and then get him off your team if he's not doing so well.
Best Ballin says, "What do, my Twitter friends?" What's up, Best Ballin? And now look, we're YouTube friends too, not just Twitter friends, YouTube friends. Ryan says, "Hey guys, ready for another great show? If I'm looking for picks in 2023, what should be the value I should expect back for AJ Brown?"
Oh, I mean, 223 first, even a Superflex isn't enough. So doubt I'm trading him for 2023 capital. You're not going to get what I want.
If somebody was getting 3 first for T. Higgins, I would take that. That would be a good deal for AJ Brown.
Yeah. I mean, again, probably not my first choice, though. Probably rather have a player in there.
Sure. Brandon Remix, 12-team Superflex, full PPR. I guess this was in reference to another one. Not sure, Brandon. Brad says, "Hey, Cal, if we were in an IDP league together, hypothetically, Brad, sure, and you say Justin Fields and let's say I had Justin Fields and Javonte Williams, what would you be looking for?"
Are you in an IDP league with Brad?
Yeah. And I have Justin Fields and Javonte Williams. Listen, nobody is off limits. If you offer me a trade and Tyler thinks I should do it, I'll do it.
Okay.
So if you're still watching, Brad, offer it to me.
Cal's putting his team in my hands.
Best Ballin traded Lamar and Bateman for T-Law, Fields, and Cole Kmet in a Superflex tight end premium. What are your thoughts?
I have to take the 2 quarterbacks there. I just think that, Lawrence and Fields are both, mid to late. Lawrence is a mid second round startup pick. Fields is late second round to me. Mm-hmm. And I just think that it's 2 quarterbacks. I love Lamar, but it's not, too much. I'm not going to do that. So I'll take the Lawrence and Fields. It is close. If I liked Bateman more, I'd probably like that side, but I don't.
Jamie, what's up, Jamie? Would you trade T. Higgins away for Mac Jones in a 12-team Superflex? I only have Lawrence, Goff, Minshew. I also have the 101, so I can draft Burks.
I'd rather not.
Burks going 101 in a Superflex draft tells you a lot, doesn't it?
That tells me a lot. I also don't think he's going to. But
Burks is not Chase. So,
Burks is a flawed prospect that I'll just tell you right now, the Dynasty community likes a lot more than the NFL draft community. Does it remind us of anyone? Usually those players don't work out very well.
The first name that came to mind was literally Rashad Bateman. I don't know why.
Yeah. But Rashad Bateman, another overrated by the Dynasty community. But he did go in the first round. I mean,
I was thinking N'Keal Harry. That was the thing. I was thinking
N'Keal Harry. Kadarius Toney's the opposite.
Yeah. And that happens every year where there's always somebody that the NFL likes more than fantasy players do. And
Jalen Waddle. They were right. We were not right. Henry Ruggs, though, they were wrong. And we were right. So it's a mixed bag. But Treylon Burks is far from the consensus wide receiver 1 for the NFL. I mean, they're undecided. I mean, you see other players go up there all the time. I mean, you see Wilson and London in the mix.
Oops. Ed said, I almost just accidentally blocked Ed. Sorry, Ed.
Oh, no.
I would never intentionally do that. Ed's my favorite. No, I would never do that. He says, I love Higgins, always have to defend him in my leagues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Addison says, I just love the conversation. If I can make y'all think about it, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm pretty hardened in my ways, but I'm sure other people definitely think about these things.
If I didn't know better, Addison, I'd say this sounds a lot like a backpedal. I don't know. It sounds a little bit like a backpedal.
It honestly does. It sounds a little bit like a backpedal.
Yeah, I know I'm wrong. It's March 1st.
You might have to invite him into this arena.
Oh, dude, yeah. Addison, if you're here, you need to jump in.
Yeah.
If you can do it, do it. Trogdor said trade of the week. Here we go. Traded away the 105, 112, and Rondale for Justin Jefferson.
I love it. I'll take Justin Jefferson easily.
Get Jefferson. Alejandro, in a 12-team PPR Superflex, what kind of vet could I get for the 102? Looking to compete this season, but don't know if I should trade the pick or ride with whoever lands the 102. I have something I want to say, but you go first.
Well, I would just say that there's no rush to trade the 102. Have some patience. The NFL Combine is going to give you, hopefully, some value bump for that 102. Hopefully, people get a little bit excited. I haven't heard much excitement, but hopefully you get a little bit of excitement. So take your time. No rush.
So the thing I want to say is I do think so. I think most first-round picks are going to devalue potentially, or are at a risk to devalue between now and the draft. Actually, I know that's going to sound crazy. Nobody's going to believe me. Nobody's going to believe me. But I think the end of the first round, I think right now you can sell hope that it could be anybody. It could be your favorite prospect could land there at 109. But by the time we get there and it's like it's Wendell Robinson or whoever, like you're gonna be like, oh shoot, no, I don't like this, and the value is going to go down potentially. I think. The 102, though, I think the opposite is going to happen, where people are going to want to be in that top of the draft. And I think it's maybe even like the value of those top picks goes up higher than they've been. So there's no way I'd be trying to trade a top 2-3 pick right now.
I think the value of all the picks goes up. You're really telling me you think that it's likely. So Jamison Williams, for example, going to go in the first round. You think he's going to be wide receiver 37? In May? I don't think so. That seems very unlikely to me. You think Kenneth Walker is going to be running back 29? That's what he is in February's ADP. You think that that's going to happen? That seems impossible to me. So you think Breece Hall is going to be running back 19? No chance. So I think all the rookie picks they're way too low in February's ADP. So I think they're all going to gain value, which is why I'm not trading any first round pick now. Maybe the third round, but no, honestly, everything is bad in this ADP shows that people just ignored the rookies completely.
So just to defend my point here just a little bit. So last year it became very obvious at like the 206 was kind of the last second round pick, last valuable pick in a Superflex draft that you wanted. Like for what you could get for 205 was dramatically different than what you could get for the 208. And with a little bit of like some bad measurables, like they got the combine, like some bad numbers posted, and then some bad draft capital, which is going to happen. You're going to get some bad landing spots, which happens every year. Like, could that number be like 107, 108 this year in a class that's already weaker?
No.
I just think it's possible that ends up being like a lot higher than people think. And like what you can get for 106 versus 109 is very different, I think.
I wouldn't, given how low the value was, it can't be worse than this.
Trogdor rolling with Chase Jefferson, AJ Brown, and DK now. Nice job. This was his trade of the week. Jefferson. Jacob, would you trade Barkley in anticipation of him being traded for real life and flipping for a higher price? So he wants to know if he should acquire Barkley. What say you, Tyler?
Have we watched enough of the show to know no. No, he's not being traded.
Local liability, 12-team Superflex. I traded away A.J. Dillon for Claypool straight up.
Yeah, the Packers restructured Aaron Jones' contract, which I don't like to see. That if there was any doubt, there wasn't. But if there was any doubt that Aaron Jones would be there for this year, he is now. But now this increases the likelihood that they'll keep him around for yet another year. Woo! That's just what we want, right? More Aaron Jones. So, no, I'll take Chase Claypool there. So good job.
So speaking of running backs that landed in situations we didn't like, I mean, that's put the cap on his value for a long time. But like you mentioned about the restructuring. Another player that got restructured this week was Michael Thomas. And he sounds likely to join the Saints. I know you mentioned him sort of briefly. But you didn't talk about your value for him in particular. What do you think about his value? Does he move up a little bit for you on that news?
Why would you want him to be there? It's a team full of failure with a failure as a head coach. That sounds like a lot of failure. I don't want 2 years of failure and head coaching failure, no quarterback. I mean, that doesn't sound good to me. So no, not at all. I preferred he would have left.
Caesar Sandoval, 12-team Superflex start. 10, Mahomes, Kelsey, Montgomery, Gabriel Davis. 4, Trey Lance, 103, 2023 first. Likely mid-first, okay. Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, thank you. Enjoy the live stream, guys. Thank you, Caesar. We enjoy,
Okay.
you and appreciate your question.
It's a lot of players. But I mean, I can see why you would do this. I guess.
And 12, to me, like Mahomes is probably worth Lance in the 2 first.
No, he's not. Not anymore. That was Mahomes 2 years ago. Nowadays, Mahomes maybe is worth Lance in the 103.
Then you got Kelsey and you got Montgomery. To me, give me the players here.
Yeah, I think I'll still. Well, I don't know. I mean, Montgomery and Amon-Ra are not that different, but yeah, it's still the players barely.
Would you draft Jameson Williams or Chris Olave? Olave,
yeah. I'll take Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is going to go earlier in the draft. Pretty sure.
K-Mac, 12-team Superflex, 2 tight end premium, start 10, 109 or Kamara.
I just have to think that there's someone in your league that's dumb enough to give you more than that. So I'm not going to accept that. But hear what I'm saying. I want Kamara off my team immediately. I don't think even I could stomach this. Though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There has to be somebody who's silly enough to trade you more. So
yeah, I just don't think you're gonna like what you like. I think once you get a name to that, you're not gonna like that you did that straight up.
You're not gonna like it. Yeah, I would like to get more, but it doesn't have to be much more. If that said 107, I could feel better about it.
Yeah. So Bassmaster says Jameson Williams way over Chris Olave. Like right now they're wide receiver 4 and 5 in ADP. So in terms of
but they're not close. If you look at the rookie ADP, there was a massive gap. They're not in the
well. You mean when you're
not in the
with
same
the
tier? If you look at the raw ADP, Jameson Williams raw ADP is 6 and Olave is 9.4. So actually a tier ends. Actually, Kenneth Walker is below Jameson Williams, but there's a top 7 tier, and Olave is on the other side of that tier. So kind of in a Olave, Pickens, and Bell make up their own tier below that group, but Jameson Williams is in a higher group.
You're saying there's a break between that 106, 107 mark and everything else?
107 and 1 QB. In 1 QB, the break is at 107. In Superflex, it's less clear because there's how do you put the quarterbacks in? But in 1 QB, it's very clear there's a top 7.
These are young wide receivers you might want. Tutu Atwell.
I don't want him.
I can't get anyone to give me value on Diami Brown trades. Like, what's the worst trade? What's a trade you would decline if offered to you for Diami Brown?
What am I being offered? I don't know.
Like, if somebody offered you a 4th.
I think I'll pass on that. The 4th this year is terrible.
Andy B, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or a 109 and a 12-team Superflex tight end premium.
Well, I got to consult the. Okay, the 109, barely. They're close.
I ran a poll on this about where you would take Amon-Ra St. Brown with everything that you know right now. Where would you take him in this draft?
And
I have to go. I'm efforting the results of that. I'm pretty sure it was in the this range, like 108 to 110 or something like that. Let me look.
Also, since it's Dynasty trade month, I'm very much biasing toward trade questions to go in the articles more than I usually would.
3.4% of the people who voted said 101 to 104, which
okay, I don't think most people would pick that.
Yeah. 33% said 105 to 108.
Okay.
45% said 109 to 112.
Which is what I would say. I have in between 110 and 111.
17% said second round or later.
Yeah. So I'm with the majority, I guess. The biggest group.
Yep. Kadarius Toney and 302 or Visca and 201.
In Superflex, I guess I'll take the 201 side there, barely, but I'll take that. I'd rather have the 201 over Tony actually, and in a Superflex this year. Just looking at the class, I mean, I'm gonna like those. Tony wasn't my favorite prospect, even though he went in the first round. I might have another at 201. I'm probably getting a first round receiver at that point, just given there actually might be more of them this year. And
so right now, it looks like it would be like David Bell. At the
I think I could go for David Bell or Pickens or Olave, one of those over Kadarius Toney, and then Visca versus the 302. I think I'd lean Visca, even though I don't like him. I would lean Visca over the 302. So yeah, I'll barely, but I'll lean the Visca into a one side. If it's Superflex, if it's one QB, I'll take Tony.
Yeah, because that definitely changes it. If you go to one QB rookie,
if it's one QB, then him I don't want.
Alex Crompton, any older wide receivers you're targeting or avoiding as a contender? A player in my league with a bad team has Hopkins, Lockett, and Keenan Allen.
This is such an easy question. I'm avoiding all of them and targeting none of them. Do we need a better answer? I mean, when it comes to who I'm really avoiding, it's Mike Evans, as always. Mike Evans is the one I'm really avoiding. If you want to know who I'm willing to take a chance on if I have to, notice the extreme hesitation. Probably DeAndre Hopkins is the one of the older crew that I'm the most willing to take a chance on, given his current ADP.
Okay. Why over Allen?
Because Allen is going around higher.
Okay.
And I don't know why.
I don't know that his value is higher in terms of like what you can for a trade.
I agree with you, but if the ADP is what it is, then I'm fine with that. Ironically, Michael Thomas is actually one of the better priced ones compared to like Keenan Allen or Mike Evans.
There's not enough good trades on the trade finder right now. You guys need to trade more. That's why we need March Dynasty trade month. Make trades so we can find them in the Dynasty trade finder. Keenan Allen for a 2024 first. What do you think?
I'd rather not, but I get it.
All right. Andy B, Irv Smith, and 111, or Amon-Ra St. Brown and 301.
Format? I need a format on that.
Let's say tight end premium 1.5, 12 team, super flex.
Then it's like dead even.
Yeah, that was my goal. I'm so glad I nailed it. GG says, love the show, gents. Thank you, GG. Appreciate the comment. Frank N, trade Judy and Dawson Knox for Elijah Moore and Noah Fant. PPR, Superflex, small tight end premium. I have Freiermuth already.
Moore and Fant.
Tyler says, dang, Tyler got heated. Love it.
It's about Ridley. And I have been very tired the last week, but that was probably the most energy I've ever had last week.
That was over the Ridley thing. That's what we got heated about.
Yeah.
What you got heated about?
Absolutely.
Frank says, also love the show. Appointment listing, gents. That's so cool. I appreciate that, Frank.
I appreciate that.
You're tuning in. Absolutely. I don't know what that is, so I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus.
Fantasy news. I was talking about people making up headlines about where Ridley's going to be traded.
Is that a real network?
They just make it up. They make it up, and I find that to be honestly not great.
I thought for a second FFN might be a real network, so I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus. Tyler, if you're at 103 and you'd rather get an extra 2023 first and a late, I don't know the rest of this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm fine trading the 103 in a package for 23 first and something else, if that's what is being asked. Fine with that.
Matt Tom, in a non-super flex, would you trade Javonte Williams for the 2022 101? If not, what 2022 pick package would it take?
Oh, definitely not. I'd rather have Javonte Williams. And what would it take? I think I would need if it's the 101 and the 102, I'm opening the offer and considering it. I'm considering the 101 and the 102. Is that good enough of an answer?
Right.
Show you that it's probably going to be difficult.
Accept.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to actually trade for Javonte Williams with 22 picks alone.
Just in case Brad's listening and is formulating his offer, Javonte Williams is like the most valuable you can get. Like you have to make a crazy good offer.
It'll need to be a big offer. Yeah.
Yeah. Fields and 204 or Deontay Johnson and a 2023 first in a 12-team Superflex.
The Deontay side.
Yeah. Mark Carr, what value does James Robinson have in Dynasty with the Achilles injury and ETN back? Also coming off injury.
I am sad because I definitely like James Robinson. He's a player I always kind of had a soft spot for. He doesn't have any value, really. I mean, he has always some value, but nothing major.
Is it
I
possible?
Probably have him too high, honestly.
They'd probably add another running back, right?
I mean, maybe.
ETN, who's never taken a snap and coming off of a bad injury, and James Robinson.
Some other running back.
Yeah. It might be like Carlos Hyde or something, but
I think it's going to have to be something a little more than that. But, that could be a spot for someone like failure. Like, no, I don't think they're going to go for Melvin Gordon. I'm talking someone lower. Marlon Mack, Ronald Jones,
Marlon Mack,
Darrell Williams.
Ooh, I like the Marlon Mack idea.
Marlon Mack and Darrell Williams. Ronald Jones, too much failure. But Marlon Mack and Darrell Williams are the kind of players you could put in there. Players, they're fine. Sony Michel, too. They're fine. They won't kill you. They're not going to lose you the game. But they're not going to do anything special anymore. Mack used to, but not post Achilles. Like they'll be fine. And those are the kind of players. Darrell Williams actually underrated. Now that I didn't think about this, but I think he's going to leave and they're going to replace him with someone better. He'll be a free agent, and I think some team is going to look at what he did this year in Kansas City and be like, "That's the kind of backup running back we want. Someone who can step in." I think he would actually work very well in Jacksonville.
We are an hour into the show. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate everybody who is tuning in. Make sure that you are and you're subscribed to the channel while you're here. Make sure you go look down there. Is it red? If it's red, that means you have not subscribed and you need to. You don't want to miss any of the amazing content from Addison, who we're giving a little bit of a hard time for his Trevor Lawrence versus Tua take.
We love Addison. We love Addison, but red is bad, just like Juju's route tree. We don't like red.
That's right. I also want to make everyone aware, like, we were like 9 or 10 people away from like hitting triple digits on the live watching. And like, so stay here. Let's accomplish that. We're so close. Share it on Twitter or something. Like, let's work as a team and let's accomplish that goal together.
Work together.
Yeah. So there we go. Ed says Javonte is worth more than the 101 and a 1 QB. Weaves wants to know what we think about this trade. 10-team, half PPR, Superflex, Trevor Lawrence, Chase Claypool, 106 for Watson, ETN, and a 2023 first.
The Lawrence side, barely. I guess. It's close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still worried about Watson. So I'll take the Lawrence side.
Makes this tough. Yeah. If he was back for sure, it would be an easy yes.
Then it would be that side. Yeah, then it would be that side. If Watson were back, he would have, he would, if we knew Watson was back, like completely free and clear, he would jump back up to quarterback 7, behind the big 6 and ahead of everyone else. If it's kind of more up in the air, he'd be behind Dak, but, it would be close between him, Lawrence, and Lance at 8, 9, and 10. He'd be ahead of like Stafford and Russ.
I'm Hybrid 1, 10-team PPR. Hill,
Tyreek Hill,
Jeremy Hill, or 104. I'm Tyreek Hill, I'm sure, or 104 and 106.
In a 1 QB, I'm not going to accept that. It's going to be just 2 second-rate prospects. But in a Superflex, with my possibility of getting maybe a quarterback and something else, if I'm selling Hill, this is the best you're going to get. He's turning 28 this offseason. You're not going to get better. He was terrible down the stretch. Terrible. I mean, he was like wide receiver 40 after the first 4 weeks or something. The rest of the year was not good. It's not good at all. So, this is what you can get in a super flex. I think I'd have to accept it if you're rebuilding. You're not going to do better. Your value's not going to go up again.
Oldak says, I know it's early, but how should we compare late 10 to 14 2022 first to the same range in 2023? How much better will that second half of first round be? See, this, I think people are going to not want those picks. They're just not going to want them.
So where I think the biggest difference is going to be is that I think there's going to be 5 or 6 players in 2023 that are better than any player in 2022. I think the biggest difference is actually at the top. I don't know how the late, it's harder to project the late, but the biggest difference I think is at the top. There's just no top tier player in this class at all, at any position. None, 0. Whereas I think 2023 might have 5 of them. Just like 2020 had a lot of them. 2021 had more.
Alejandro, someone tried to offer me Burrow for Herbert and a second because I've got Chase. LOL.
Yeah, I'd rather have Herbert than Burrow. Don't be fooled by the playoff run. Go back and look at the fantasy stats between Herbert and Burrow, and then tell me which one you'd rather have.
I love the confidence to have that offer and ask for a second to be thrown in when you're given Burrow for Herbert.
Yeah, no, it's not even a competition.
Matt Tom, that's what I was thinking. Ed, I love this. This is all the kind of stuff that I love happening in the chat room. Best chat room in YouTube right here. Bassmaster, Malik Willis or Jameis Winston to the Steelers does what for Claypool and Deontay Johnson's dynasty value? Very different things, that's for sure.
They are. I'd rather have Jameis Winston.
If you're thinking about dynasty value for Claypool and Johnson, yeah,
I'd rather have Jameis Winston. Unfortunately, I think the way I see this is it's not like Baltimore for someone like Malik Willis, because Malik Willis is another that type of quarterback. This is going to be another Lamar. So not as good, but you're looking at that type of quarterback. The problem with Baltimore is you have 2 players that I feel like are equal. I feel like Bateman and Brown are very equal. I don't feel like Claypool and Deontay Johnson are equal. So Deontay Johnson, I feel like, is going to succeed no matter what. And Claypool needs a good quarterback to succeed. So Deontay Johnson's dynasty value wouldn't change much between these 2 players. But Chase Claypool would be utterly unusable with Malik Willis. And I would be very excited with Jameis Winston.
Ed says, I've traded Javonte Williams away twice this offseason. I think is what you're saying there. Once it was Dobbins in a first, and the other was Akers 1 and 3.
I mean, these are okay, but I'm not like, if it's Superflex, I like it better because you get a chance at a quarterback later. It's 1 QB, I'm not as excited, but most leagues are Superflex. If this is Superflex, I'm more okay with it. 23 quarterback class will be good.
Tyler Nelson, 12 team Superflex. Russell Wilson and Dallas Goedert, or Trevor Lawrence and 212.
No, I think I'm going to stick with the Russell Wilson side. I have Wilson a little bit lower than Lawrence, but I love Dallas Goedert. That's too much to pay for me. I'll take that side.
I'm with you. Randy Watt, 14 team PPR Superflex sent Curtis Samuel, Keyshawn Vaughn. This is a great list.
All right. So a bunch of players we don't care about. And the 201.
Mm-hmm. Tommy Tremble. I mean, DJ Dallas. This is Anthony Schwartz. This is a great list.
A bunch of garbage.
You know who would love this? Where is our guy in the chat that's always asking about the young players who didn't do anything?
Yeah, that always happens.
What's his name? I can't remember his name right now.
But either way, I'll take the Wentz side.
Yes, I'm with you.
Because there has more seconds, and then Wentz is worth more than all of that garbage combined. And I'd rather have the 3 seconds over the 1-201.
Randy also sent Brevin Jordan 308 and a 2023 third for Jermar Jefferson. And I like that he included the parentheses of Detroit RB.
As if I don't know.
And 314.
I do know who Jamar Jefferson is. Yeah. But this trade is so irrelevant. I guess I'll take, I mean, if it's tight end premium, it's about even. If it's not, I'll take the 208 side.
Ed likes Jamar Jeff as a bottom of the roster RB.
I don't think Jamar Jefferson is ever going to get another NFL snap. So
why would it not be Craig Reynolds?
Yeah, that's exactly why. They re-signed Craig Reynolds for 2022. You don't promote another undrafted guy from the roster, then re-sign and give him a contract extension guaranteed money. It's clear that they don't like Jamar Jefferson at all. So he's cut him from your dynasty roster. He's irrelevant.
Tyler Reeves.
People asking me about weekly. I get at least one person trying to tell me that they should pay a 4th round pick for Eno Benjamin. And it's always I hear about Eno Benjamin. I don't know why. There's some obsession with him. These people who are Debbie relevant. Eno Benjamin, Jamar Jefferson were Debbie prospects. And, I hear about them and I always go tell me how many games Eno Benjamin was actually dressed for out of a possible 33. How many did he actually dress for? And then you tell me if you still want him.
You have to pay the round of however many it was. So
I'm pretty sure it's less than 10, but honestly, I've never actually looked. It's 9 total. Dressed for 9 out of 33.
Jamie agrees that Zach Wilson would be the 101, but disagreed DPJ is a nobody. He was a 5-star prospect going into college, but went to Michigan, who can't develop wide receivers. I think Jamie might be from Ohio. I'm not sure.
The problem is that he didn't do anything in the NFL 2 years, and he's just looked absolutely horrible every time he's played. He does exactly what I don't want. A lot of playing time, lots of playing time, and absolutely nothing to show for it. Nothing at all. No, I mean, what does he have to show for it? Do you ever remember him helping you in fantasy football? Ever? Even once? No. So no, we don't want players like this. They're going to work it out with Jarvis Landry, and they're going to draft a wide receiver in the 1st round, and Donovan, and they're going to apparently franchise tag David Njoku, apparently. So after doing all those things, there's going to be room for Donovan Peoples-Jones. He'll be goodbye.
Sean, I'm in a 12-team Superflex draft. What's your opinion of Hurts? Should I go him, Russ, Stafford, or rookie 101?
Well, I have in my rankings, I have Stafford, Hurts, Russ, back-to-back, and then Fields, and then the rookie 101, and then Watson. So they're all right in there, but I have Stafford the highest. So I'll go Stafford.
Let's see. I've seen about 20 startup boards, and Trevor Lawrence went before round 3 in 0 of them. Interesting.
I agree with you. I think I forced him at somewhere the 210 or the 211 in one of these, but I have yet to see him go in round 1 or 2. So again, I do not buy that ADP data at all. It's not accurate.
I mean, I'm assuming these are all Superflex, right? Just to make sure we're saying that.
Yes, they are. No, it's actually, the reason I don't buy it is actually because his ADP is very consistent from what I've seen. It's in the 3rd almost every single time. Almost every draft, it's in the 3rd. That's what his real ADP is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can look in the F4 chat too, our group chat. Look at those drafts. I mean, look at the ones that are brought in there. It's almost always he goes in the 3rd, talking about getting him in the 3rd. It's always about getting him in the 3rd.
I love it. Bassmaster, hey Ed, Jamar Jefferson has got to be 4th on the RB depth chart. That's the thing.
Don't forget about Godwin and Gwebeke.
Oh yeah, can't ever forget about him.
So he might even be 5th on the depth chart.
Zach Wilson was in the 5th in most of them.
Again,
that's what I'm looking for. Lawrence went pick 17 in the F4 draft. Yeah.
That's still not 11, 13, or 15. I think that's about the earliest I've ever seen is 17. Yet he went higher than that in 3 of the 4 mock drafts. I'm just saying that ADP is not correct.
I remember he didn't make it back to me in the 2nd round, and I was 104, so whatever that is, 209 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I rank him at 17.
Yeah, buy Trevor Lawrence while you can. The explosion is coming.
Yeah, no, again, the whole point of Trevor Lawrence is my ideal draft would be, let's say I started in the top. I would start with like Mahomes or Allen. Then I could take like, on the turn, I could get Trevor Lawrence and like DK Metcalf. That would be my start. Mahomes, Lawrence, and Metcalf would be my first 3 picks. And I would love that if I could start with that in a Superflex.
Anybody thoughts on Hurts, Stafford, Russ? Yeah, we just covered that one.
Covered that. I mean, not really. We covered that I liked Stafford the best, but we didn't cover the other. We didn't cover it that much. Other than that, I don't think Russ is getting traded. Hurts is going to be the 2022 starter, and 2023 is up in the air. But if he plays well, he'll continue as their starter. And then Stafford, I think I've talked about enough. He won the Super Bowl. He's in good shape.
Adam says, Callan Carp, the homies. What's up, Adam? Appreciate you tuning in. Glad you caught it live this week. That's awesome. 12 teams Superflex. Daniel Jones, Amon-Ra, and T. Higgins, or Stafford and Cup.
Stafford and Cup easily. Not close.
Yeah. Is it because you want to stack the quarterback and wide receiver?
No.
Cat Zero shipped Antonio Gibson, Michael Carter, and Rashad Bateman for Jonathan Taylor in a 10-team Superflex.
Taylor easily. It's not close.
John Ross, overrated by the NFL draft. Yeah.
Yeah, he was overrated by the NFL draft and underrated. Or, overrated by the draft, and Dynasty community hated him.
Interesting point brought up by Sigmund Bloom on my Dynasty Refinery series, that it only takes one team and one GM to make a player a pick much higher than he needs to go, but takes all 32 for a player to fall.
I say that all the time. I say that about ADP all the time.
ADP. But
it's the same thing though. It's the same thing with ADP. It only takes one person to make the ADP higher, but it takes 12 people passing on a player to make it lower.
Right. Well, ADP would imply that it happened more than just the once.
Right. But ADP is just a bunch of drafts. It's the same thing as an NFL draft in a way.
Tyler, in a startup Superflex tight end premium, who do you take at 108? Chase, Jefferson, Najee, Dak, or Lance? Everything else has been QB and JT.
Yes, that's the start I would expect, is the 6 quarterbacks, the big 6, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Kyler, Lamar, and Burrow, and then JT. That's my top 7. And then I would come to 8 would be Jamar Chase for me.
I love that. I love getting Jamar Chase right there. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Bearded Native. I love your name. Thank you. How do I get over the fear of trading? Scared as soon as I trade a player, their value is going to skyrocket.
A fear of trading? I've never heard of such a thing.
No, me neither.
I would say that I don't even know. I don't even know if this is a question for me to really answer. But I don't know. Just have confidence in yourself.
Well, I think I do think there is some confidence in it. And I know like when I play like fantasy baseball or basketball, like I'm not as confident in my evaluations of those as I am in football. And so there are times where, I need to go look. But the thing is, like the biggest way you get over it is you need to understand that you are going to make bad trades completely out of your ability to figure it out. And like, even if you see the value as even right now, or even if every expert in the world tells you the value is even as of now, or that you're getting the better side of it, it can still work out to be a bad trade. So you're going to make bad trades. You're going to make good trades. And
you can also do what some people do and just let other people make your decisions for you. I mean, that's essentially what my Patreon and a lot of my Twitter is just asking me to make the decision for you, which I really don't mind doing. Like, I don't mind being a handholder. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, if you want me to make your decisions for you and tell you what to do, like, I don't have any issue with that. So, I really don't mind. So that's one alternative. And, you do that for a year and then see if you feel better about it later.
In a 12-team Superflex, would you trade back from the 104 for the 108 and 204?
Probably not. Although, I don't know exactly. We said 7 players in one QB, but in Superflex, I don't know where the tier break is going to go because the quarterbacks could be on anywhere in the tiers. There's 4 of them, and I don't know. It's all still a big jumble. So I would probably play it safe and stick with the 104. but I could see wanting to do this.
Really Truth or Yo, guys? Good to see your glowing smiles. Good to see you, Really
Well, I
Truth.
have not smiled much during this show, but smiled now.
You. Ed traded away James Robinson for Josh Kelly after the rookie draft last year.
Did I approve that?
He exploded in value, but just had to keep making trades to get that value back. That's the thing, is like, you just a lot of reps. Get a lot of reps in there.
I feel like I was already calling him Joshua Fumble at that point.
Raynard Blinman, a guy in my league, traded me a 2023 first for Rams D and a 2023 third mid-season last year. It wasn't vetoed at the time, but now people are demanding I give his pick back.
Oh, no, we're not. We can't go back. If it was in the middle of the season, how can you go back? I mean, first of all, this trade is ridiculous, but that's a separate story. But you can't go back and undo something from months ago. That's insane. So no, you can't give it back. I would probably leave the league over this, but that's just me. I've left leagues for less.
This is insane.
You can't undo a trade from months ago.
No, like, no, this actually makes me angry. Yeah, like, no, you cannot undo. First of all, it's a bad trade. Like, you got a great deal. You traded a defense and you got a first round pick. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, that is pretty good.
You probably need a better league, Raynard. You probably need to find a better league than this.
Yeah, probably.
For a few reasons. What's the minimum you are willing to trade the 103 for right now?
So I have the 103 and I'm trading it away. So let's say it's a 1 QB for that purposes. I'm going to want more than what it's worth. So
Deontay Johnson?
Oh, well, yes, absolutely. But I would take less than that. I mean, I would take DJ Moore for the 103.
Mark Andrews.
Oh, yeah. But Andrews worth more than DJ Moore.
Saquon Barkley.
Oh, absolutely not.
George
I think people don't really understand that once you accept failure once, then you get in the habit. You do. There are people who do this.
I hear you.
There are people who do this. They start by accepting failure. They accept failure onto their team, and then they get into a habit of buying low on failure. They want to buy low. They think that they can identify the dip. They think they can buy here when here in this like V pattern, and they can't do that. Nobody's actually able to consistently do that because on average, about a majority of the time, you actually just keep going down. You keep going down more often than you actually go back up. So those people actually have no track record of that, but they think they do. So they keep buying low on failure. If you just avoid players who are on a downward trajectory, you'll do better. But people don't. People think that they're smarter than they are, and they don't do that. So no, we won't buy Saquon Barkley, but or Terry McLaurin at that price either. Same problem. But I don't know, Gibson, Dobbins, Akers.
Ridley's doing a few startups. MVS or Van Jefferson?
Not MVS. So Van Jefferson. MVS has no value at all. I don't know why. MVS. Never MVS.
Yeah, some other people are mad at this with Raynard too. Salsa wants to know if we're in or out on Tony.
I'm pretty in, I guess.
I'm in, and I would give him, like, if he tore his ACL, I would give him mine. Like, I want him to succeed so bad. He is lightning in a bottle. Like, when he's on the field, to me, he reminds me of Allen Iverson if he was a wide receiver. And I love what he can do with the ball in his hands. I only worry about his health. And again, look, it's a 1 year sample, and of course, whatever. It doesn't mean anything, I guess. But if he can stay healthy all year, he's going to be a huge value right now.
Yeah, he's wide receiver 43 in DLF's ADP, and I have him a good bit higher. Although I don't include the rookies, I guess, in my positional rank, so it's not that much higher.
Spock stopping in and saying hi. What's up, Spock? Adds in on him. OMZ, who's your surefire rookie to draft, and which top rookie should I avoid? I think Treylon Burks is going to be DK 2.0.
I mean, I'm fine drafting Treylon Burks, but he's going to be the one that I'm probably not getting much of. And then
I don't think he's gonna be DK. That's just, I don't know. To me, that's like a little bit of rookie fever that you might need more cowbell. You got a fever.
I mean, there is no surefire rookie in this class, as sad as that is. There isn't even one. If I had to pick one, it's probably Breece Hall.
Brady, are you fans of having defense, special teams, and kickers in dynasty leagues?
No.
Not really.
Hard no for me.
I agree with Ed. Tony is oozing with upside. Yeah, just stay on the field. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're on the same page. Let's see. I got to get through some of these because we are closing in on an hour and a half. And let's see. Not a fan of trading for RBs in the non-point scoring season. I like that you didn't say off season there. Good job. But I got offered AJ Dillon for Michael Gallup and a 2022 second. Went from rebuilding last year to looking good to contend this year. Initial thoughts?
That's not really going to help you, though. I don't know. Where's the second?
Yeah, we should know by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meh.
I feel like I need more for Dillon right now.
Probably.
Who are we higher on, Judy or Tony?
Judy.
Yeah, probably. Well, definitely. But give me 17 games of Tony. That's what I want.
That would be nice.
That was a great answer. Probably from you. I'm not sure. Just making sure I'm not crazy for deflecting every offer I get for Javonte.
I appreciate that.
Javonte could be a top 5 running back. I'd hold on. Just hope Melvin Gordon doesn't re-sign.
Still a top 5 running back, even if he does.
Yeah, I'm really okay with him re-signing. I know that, like, honestly, if that decreases his value some and allows me to get in and get more shares, I'm going to like that. Melvin Gordon is how old? 40?
He turns 29 this offseason. He's a 93 birthday.
Okay, so I know he had juice last year, but like every year there's a higher chance it's just the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Melvin Gordon comes back.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Reichwell ended up being back on the Jags last year after the Giants and actually had 5.3 yards per carry versus Indy New England run defense. Probably worth throwing on the back into your benches from waivers.
Not for me.
The changeover in coaching staff and all that, like, I just don't know that Reichwell Armstead ends up with the job there.
I'll pass on him.
How much you drop QBs in your rookie ranks from 12-team 2 QB league to a 10-team?
Okay, so it's nothing special about my rookie rankings, but just in general, when you move that way, quarterbacks lose value. To put a percentage on it, maybe 10 to 20%.
I might say a little bit more. I tend to
more like 20 than 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
like being less valuable than they are in Superflex. Like, you know, to me, like there's definitely when everybody in the league can have 2. I feel like that are starting and still have a couple left over. I think it changes it up.
There's no pressure in a 10-team Superflex.
Or I said 2. I meant 3.
Yeah. There's no pressure.
Best ball and smash the like, folks. Yeah, do that. Make sure you smash the like button. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, good question. How do QBs change to Superflex?
I covered this in last week's article. It's there. I mean, if you go to my author profile, which I'll put those in the comments under the video instead of in the live chat where people have to scroll through it. I'll put those in the comments, the link to last week's article.
In a 14-team league, I would really like to, within 3 or 4 rounds, I want at least 2. And there's a chance in the other ones that I am not necessarily going with that strategy.
I agree with you.
Dylan Vergara, what would you add to Tua to go after Lawrence or Burrow in a 12-team Superflex? Just like send them the video of Addison saying Tua is more valuable and better than Lawrence, and then just let it all play out from there.
I agree. But in all seriousness, to go from Tua to Burrow, you're probably going to need Tua in the 102 at least. And that probably won't be enough. To go from Tua to Lawrence, probably the 110 would be enough.
Yeah,
I'd pay it, but I think it would be enough.
What do you think Elijah Moore's potential ceiling could be? What would you want on top of Moore to pivot off of Tyreek Hill?
I mean, I think Elijah Moore could be a wide receiver 1. And to pivot off Tyreek Hill, if I'm in a rebuild, I'll take Moore into 23 first and just move on from Hill.
How do you feel about Justin Ross and George Pickens? Have them as wide receivers 3 and 4. I feel crazy for this take.
Okay, I feel pretty good about Pickens. Ross, I mean, he's a big name who fell a lot because of the injury. I don't feel as good about Ross, but we'll see. How he tested the combine will definitely, if he's going to the combine, will definitely help.
Caleb, how much would you give for
Tyreek? Yeah,
Tyreek Hill. I have. Do you remember when we were here and somebody auto-corrected to a name that wasn't their wife's?
Yes,
like Tamara or something.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
I hope. Yeah, that was gold. Gosh, I need to go back and clip that. Justin Jefferson, Godwin, Keenan Allen, Waddle, 12-team PPR. What would you give for Tyreek Hill?
I'm unlikely to be trading for Tyreek Hill.
Not what I'm doing. Just put up to all the Tylers in here. Yeah, look,
there are a lot of them.
Just because it's like Ask DLF with Calvin Hobby and Tyler, like you don't have to be Cal or Tyler to watch the show. Like if there wanted to be more Cals to watch the show, it'd be great. I don't meet very many Cals, so it'd be great. Or Calvins, let's be fine. T-Fish, Cal, Dynasty Refinery has great content. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've gotten some really crazy good feedback on that, and I really have enjoyed it. Check it out on the channel. There's a playlist. Good stuff. David Sheehan, 12-team Superflex, half PPR, half PPR, tight end premium. So I guess,
So half and one, like Scott Fishbowl.
1 point? Okay.
Yeah, half and one, like Scott Fishbowl.
Tua, Cole Kmet, 108, or Cousins, a 2024 second, Montgomery, and Khalil Herbert.
That seems interesting. I mean, Cousins and Tua are not that far off. I mean, the second with Cousins is probably good enough. And then 108 and Montgomery are similar, and Herbert and Kmet are pretty similar. I'll go with the Tua side, though.
Cat Zero, how are we feeling about Mooney? Let's start there.
Fine.
Sent Pat Fryermuth and Carson. Chris Carson? Carson Wentz?
Chris Carson, let's say.
For Mooney and Knox in a 14-team PPR, 1 QB, wondering if I should hold Mooney or flip.
Well, I don't understand how you managed to pull this trade off, because I'd much rather have Mooney and Knox. And then you can flip Mooney, but, depends on what you can get. I'm fine holding Mooney. I don't have like a problem with Mooney.
Randy wants to know if we're going to Canton for the Dynasty Expo in August.
There is 0 chance. I talked about this on my interview. I was on Get Real with Casey Kasem. We recorded it on Sunday. It should come out very soon.
Sweet.
I talked about, I'm pretty sure that was when we were rolling the camera, but even if it wasn't, I'll tell you now, the chances that I go to that are 0.
I would love to, but I will not be capable. I'm not sure. I think that move would make me over the salary cap. So if somebody wants to send me, then great. But
yeah.
Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields. Here we go. Stacking. We're continuing on stacking. Nice combo. The Njoku Browns contract news was legit upset. Did he resign? I did not see this if he did.
It was that they were interested in using the franchise tag.
Oh, no.
I don't understand why they would do that. After already, they still owe $11 million to Austin Hooper. So I don't know why they're going to slap a $10 million franchise. I don't buy it. But we'll see.
Really, truth, I have a fear of not making enough trades.
That sounds more likely. That sounds more likely for the viewers on this channel.
Don't be afraid to trade, especially if one you made. Well, last year's looks really. Oh yeah. So if you messed up, forget it. Go to the next one. Keep plugging away. Don't look back.
You always got to look forward, not back.
Great advice. Jamie says, like how you give the information and let us decide for ourselves. No hand holding.
Well, that's how it is on this show, but not how it is everywhere I do content. So goes both. I'm fine with either approach.
Randy says 14 team Superflex. I'm gonna try and wrap this up here. We're almost done. Now have Wentz, Zach Wilson, Matt Ryan, all of that.
Is this the same? I think this is the 14 team Superflex that had no quarterbacks? I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah, because it had Taylor Swift and Chase and more. Pretty sure. Because go back.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna struggle to package those for a first. I don't know. Package. You have a lot of picks. I'm fine just making them. You need some depth. Maybe you can get a deal on some sort of quarterback in the second or third, a quarterback flyer or something. I'm not sure I'm packaging up. Your team is thin.
So could you get for like for 201, could you get something like Keenan Allen?
Probably not. You can try.
Not enough?
Well, you might be able to get Keenan Allen, but I don't know.
Randy, I think my goal would be to have and make none of these picks and just try to surround
them all.
I would try to trade all of them. I don't want any of them.
Nobody wants them either. You're going to have trouble trading them. That's the only thing.
Yeah, FF Lefty with an idea. Juliet, if you could meet any player, who would it be, whether they're still playing or in the past? Do you have any players you'd like to meet?
Any player I want to meet?
Yeah.
I've never really, honestly, I've never really thought about this.
Well, actually, now, yeah, I know my answer now.
You go first.
Marshawn Lynch to me would be the number one.
Yes, that would be very entertaining. If I could meet any players, I guess I'll just go with someone recently and go with Deontay Johnson.
Yeah. The other one, like Jamal Williams, is legit hilarious, and I'd like to hang out with him.
Swag Daddy.
Yes.
And I also go for Darrington Evans because he's the only player who actually follows me on Twitter.
This is a great question, Julia. I love this. Anybody
I
who
want to steal this and use this as one of my engagement tweets. You hear the contempt in my voice for how I've been treated about that recently.
Arian Foster is another one who I think would be awesome.
I have a soft spot for Arian Foster because he's a lot responsible for my first ever fantasy football title.
He's one of the first people who were like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going to speak my mind. And like, I just would like to talk to that dude.
Yeah, I could go for Arian Foster.
You know what? If you're watching this and this show's over, you're watching it later, in the comments, who would you be? Like, this is a fascinating question.
I do like this question a lot.
What do you think of Kyle Phillips in Dynasty?
You mean Kyle Pitts? Because if he means Kyle Pitts, I love Kyle Pitts, but I don't know who's Kyle Phillips.
I was hoping you would take more time so I could look up to see. There appears to be a free agent.
Maybe he invented the Phillips screwdriver. I don't know.
There's a free agent named Kyle Phillips that doesn't have any stats.
I don't know who that is.
My thought on Kyle Phillips would be not be very high. Not be very high. Of all on all of my rebuilds where I'm clutching Javonte like gold, I actually hope Gordon stays on for another year. Less tread on his tires, not scoring as many points for me, but not competing in it's kind of a win-win.
That's kind of funny, but I still wouldn't want that.
Nah, me neither. When are 2022 draft picks at their highest value? When is the best time to trade for more 2023 first?
The best time to trade for more 2023 first was 3 months ago. But the 2022 picks, generally draft picks are at their highest value after the NFL draft. Depending on your league, it's at some point after the NFL draft, but before the pick is on the clock. Sometimes it's when it's actually on the clock, but at some point in there. And then when's the best time to trade for more 23 first? Probably when you're on the clock. You might be able to get one, but you're going to struggle this year. I'm telling you.
So somebody, when I posted my, hey, is it possible that some of these 2022 picks lose value between now and the draft? Somebody tagged EK Baller. And he's got a flow chart that gives the cycle of a pick player value, which is very useful. A few people tagged him in it and had him post the chart, and it looks It looks like it is very historically accurate for how picks gain.
Generally, they go up in value from February to March to April to May. Generally, not always.
What are you looking for in return for Russell Wilson and a 12-team Superflex rebuild? Are you the Seahawks? That's what I want to know.
Well, we talked about this where I had Wilson ranked, below Stafford and Hurts and, just above Fields. I think I would look to trade Wilson for Trevor Lawrence. Plus, people don't like Trevor Lawrence. So maybe that would be my first choice. If I can't get that, then how about, Tua plus a lot more? Mac Jones maybe more than Tua. Because I like Mac Jones better and he has a lower ADP. So probably Mac Jones more so. Plus a good amount. Because ADP says you should be able to get a good plus.
12-team Superflex got offered Jacobs, Ridley, and this year's 108 for DK and Aaron Jones. Person offering also has the 1-1.
Well, the problem is that Ridley is just such a blind item. I mean, honestly, at this point, Ridley and Aaron Jones kind of carry similar value to me. So then Jacobs in the 108 for DK, not good enough. I'll take the DK side and just play it safe. I mean, I would like to trade Aaron Jones away. Can I get Jacobs for Aaron Jones? And I would do that.
Oh, gosh, if you can, that's insane.
Yeah.
Jacobs is so undervalued. FF Lefty meeting Ricky Williams would be wild. Yeah. As a Saints fan, that would be an interesting interview to interview him.
Yeah. I mean, he did you're old enough to remember the whole thing about him in the wedding dress, right?
And the Saints literally trading every one of their draft picks to move up in the draft.
But that's why he was in the wedding dress.
Yes. And Mike Ditka, I will probably always hate everything every time I see his face, I will hate him because of that.
I love it.
Here's Nick Nicholas is the guy I was trying to think of earlier. He's the one who loves those rookies, those young guys. Kyle Phillips is a rookie who resembles Renfro in a way. In a very specific way, it seems like.
Well, let's see if he gets picked in the NFL draft, and then I'll care.
Jaden, if you have a chance to win now, would you use the 101 and 102 who are to trade them away for producing vets? Not now, but
not now, maybe later.
Yes. Not now. But right before your draft, I can see doing this.
I agree.
I would probably want to do this.
Especially when you're on the clock.
Because I don't think there's anybody that I'm going to feel like is going to be like an impact, or I'm not going to be confident I'm going to choose the right one. Maybe I'll say
there will be 0 wide receivers that I have any confidence in producing your one. I can tell you that right
now. If your fantasy career mirrored these two players' careers, which one would you rather have? Aaron Rodgers, so 1 championship and always in the hunt, or Eli Manning with 2 championships but mediocre in between?
So funnily enough, in fantasy football, you get paid for 2nd and 3rd place. So probably you make more money with the Aaron Rodgers approach. But although Aaron Rodgers actually only made it to the Super Bowl once, so he's never finished in 2nd place.
But maybe you get like for being the best
points for regular season highest scorer. Yeah. A lot of leagues offer things for that. You probably should make more money with the Aaron Rodgers route. But I care more about the titles than I do about the money. So I'd rather be the 2 championships.
Me too. It's why we do this.
Yeah.
Really likes the 2nd round. I think there's a lot of dart throws, but part of the problem is if I'm going to have trouble figuring out which one of these guys are the ones, that's part of why I'm just going to if I have an opportunity to flip any of those for somebody I know can produce that's already in the NFL, I'm going to do it.
No, the second round is the undervalued part of this draft. People are just saying that the whole thing is bad when what they mean, there's actually no difference between the 2nd round this year and last year. And 3rd round this year and last year. There's no difference. It's the same. But what they mean to say is that the top is bad. And the top is really bad. People are not understating how bad it is. The fact that there are no top prospects in this class at all, anywhere. When was the last time that happened? That you had a whole class that at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end doesn't have a single high-end prospect in it. Not even one. Across 4 positions. Last year, there were at least 3 if you're being the meanest possible in Lawrence, Chase, and Pitts, at least 3. And by some people's definitions, there were up to 8. This year, there are 0. So that's the problem with this class, is the high end, not the middle. There's nothing wrong with the middle.
Okay, Benny Blanco, I need to know. Last week, you were in here in the chat, and I think, was it Nicholas who thought maybe you were a record producer? If you are, tell us.
Do we want me to answer that question?
No, I want Benny Blanco to answer it.
No. Well, we'll come back to that.
Yeah. FF Lefty, thanks for the show, guys. Appreciate you both. Thank you, FF Lefty. Mark Carr says, great job. Thank you. Great job, chat room. Nicholas, if you have the 103 and 12 team 1 QB, would you take Kenneth Walker or Drake London with 103?
Neither. But I would have, I have Spiller and Wilson ahead after Hall and Burks at the top 2. But if I'm choosing between those 2 players and the draft is tomorrow, I would still take London ahead of Walker. But Walker's getting hyped that he's going to go higher in the NFL draft than, maybe among fantasy analysts. So, if Walker goes in the first round, I'm probably going to take him higher. I did write an article on Walker, and I did say that I liked him. And I was talking about him to Miami in the second round, but now, it's possible someone could go to Miami with that 29th pick. So
Skip, I love, there's questions that come up that I've just never even think about, and you guys are great at that. Do you ever draft someone on your team that you really don't like rooting for?
Yes,
absolutely. I would never really thought about it this way, but yes.
There comes a point, the higher in the draft it is, the less likely I am to draft someone like that. Like, I have been in situations in startups this offseason where I've drafted Juju, where I've never drafted Barkley. To give you an idea, it's possible lower. And also,
you don't like Juju's fantasy value. It's not that you don't like rooting for Juju, right?
But how many players are there that I dislike rooting for?
Well,
there might not be any.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Deshaun Watson is definitely a player I would say I dislike as a person.
Tyreek Hill. I don't like.
I dislike him not as much as Deshaun Watson. I definitely dislike Deshaun Watson more because I feel like those accusations are more proven. Mm-hmm. Although Tyreek has the old ones from the past as well, that would definitely make me dislike him. But I would say yes. If we're talking about do I draft players on my team that I personally dislike? Yes, I have drafted Tyreek Hill on teams before. I've drafted Joe Mixon on teams before. And after the Watson issues, I've definitely told patrons, and I don't know, I can't say I've done it myself because I haven't really been in a startup myself since then, but I've definitely told patrons to draft Deshaun Watson. So I can separate those things. I don't have a blanket no on players that I dislike for those reasons. I do tend to downgrade them more than others, but someone I only downgrade them if I think there's a reason that those issues could persist. So I'm not downgrading Hill or Mixon still for that. Whereas Watson, I am, because I think those legal issues are not resolved. They're still in play. Kamara, same thing. Those legal issues are in play. I mean, he has exposure there that could have a 6-game suspension coming for an older running back. So for him, I'll count it against him. Mm-hmm. But for Hill and Mixon, not really. I can separate those things, I guess. I'm more likely to hear about it in the way I talk about them, though. Sometimes it does come out in the content when I dislike someone. You probably can hear it in my voice, but more so that than any actionable advice.
Adam reminds us that we already have a year of failure with Trevor Lawrence. So
I downgraded him. I told you I downgraded him. That's why I don't buy that ADP that DLF cited. That early second round ADP. That's why I don't buy that. He's fallen in ADP. I think people have punished him, and I think fairly. I think they've punished him a fair amount. If he's going in the mid to late second, I think that's fair. But there are some people, I would say the less sharper people, who have punished him. It's also kind of what I'm saying. The DLF drafters, I think, are all more sharp, whereas the average public, I think, is punishing him a lot more. And he's falling to because they're just saying, oh, no, he's bad. And they're, instead of punishing him a round, they're punishing him 2 rounds, which I think is too much.
So Zach Wilson came back from injury in week 12.
Yeah.
from week 12 to week 17, when the fantasy championship was, Zach Wilson was the QB 11 last year. You know where Trevor Lawrence was?
Oh, it was bad. I know it was bad.
24.
Yeah, no, I know it was bad. But Trevor Lawrence comes in with much bigger, better skills than Zach Wilson,
and one spot better draft capital.
Yeah, the other thing is that Trevor Lawrence has more value insulation.
Yeah, I agree. Benny Blanco, who will have a better fantasy career? I don't know how to pronounce
Tyler Algier or Kyron Williams. And it's I'll go for Kyron Williams. I'll go with the ADP and stick with Kyron Williams there. But a draft capital and landing spot could change my mind. I'm not saying that those players are in different talent tiers. I mean, really, Hall, Spiller, and Walker, I think, are going to be my top three no matter what. I don't think that anything could change my mind. Nothing. But after that, it's open season.
Alan Rickman just got offered Amari Cooper for Gabe Davis.
How did you bring Snape back from the dead? No, I'll take Amari Cooper. Barely.
Was that a pop culture joke? What was that?
Alan Rickman played Snape.
But you are making a pop culture joke. That might be your first one on the show. We've done like 40 of these.
I'm a person.
I love it.
I'm a person. Like, do the people think that I just do like fantasy football content all day, every day? Like, I have a life,
No, I love it. I'm glad to see that side of Ed, are you here? Have you ever heard him make a pop culture joke here? I don't think this is the first time. I think I'm gonna write this down.
First time for everything.
Raider, is Godwin worth a 2023 first?
I mean, in a 1 QB, absolutely. If I'm in a super flex, I'm probably not sending my 23 first for Godwin. Generally, I don't like to risk future first in a super flex for wide receivers with question marks. So probably not doing that. But, if I had Godwin, I'd probably expect more than a 23 first in return. So,
okay, so some clarification on the Benny Blanco thing. Nicholas said Benny Blanco wrote a bunch of hit songs, if that's the one from the show. Dave. Benny says, bad news, not him, not me, fellas. Does say that Benny Blanco did live in Palm Coast, Florida, and I did as well, though.
Coincidence.
That's crazy. Small world. But Juliet is a record producer, and so if anybody needs a record producer,
crazy,
hit up Juliet. There we go. Really Truther was thinking of Carp with Will Smith's new show, Philly Guy. So I love him, but Fresh Prince of Failure. Totes that new show. I don't know.
You want me to be the Fresh Prince of Failure? We got to get like a Clyde Edwards Hilaire joke in there with the Fresh Prince.
Weaves wants to see us square off with Addison about his recent. I need that. Like the next time I get a guest spot somewhere, like I'm gonna invite Addison to come. I've done that before.
We'll invite Addison into the ring. I'm ready. I've already won one court battle on Tua. The judge ruled in my favor the last time I went to court about Tua. That was on Jacob Sanderson's show. That was actually the last guest spot I ever did before this Get Real one, but that wasn't about fantasy football. So it was actually the last fantasy football guest spot I ever did was talking about Tua, and the court definitely found in my favor.
I did this last offseason with Addison where I was invited on, and I wanted to argue with him about Hawkinson, so I invited Addison to come with me.
I'm always there to debate.
Yeah.
Only on the shows, though. I don't debate much on Twitter. I do a lot of agree to disagree, but I'll debate with Addison for the people because I know they want that.
Good job, Michael, trading Amon-Ra and the 301 for DJ Moore. That's a home run.
Oh, Michael Carter. Welcome.
The Michael Carter.
Michael Carter. One of the two on the Jets.
Take
DJ Moore
back, I'm sure.
Yeah. But take DJ Moore there.
Zamir White or Damian Pierce?
Yeah, we're way into the part of the rookie draft that I have Zamir White ranked 2 spots higher, but like not my area of expertise. Not a big fan of either player.
Nicholas, do we follow each other on Twitter? I need to make sure I do. I bet he loves college football.
Pretty sure he follows me. I'm not sure if I follow him back.
You should. Well, I am on all music platforms. Yeah, there you go, Juliet. He's Nicholas J. Period. Don't forget the dot after the J.
Can't forget it.
And with that, we are done. That's a show. Ask DLF is over. Ask Taco Tuesday, Waffle Wednesday. We are we're finished with Fat Tuesday, which is Mardi Gras, and I'm a little, it's a little sad that means we are finished with that here in New Orleans. I always love that time of year, but it's a good way to end it right here with you.
Yes, it is, and the people have spoken. The people have spoken.
Screenshot that.
Yeah. Well, you want me to put it back up? So we'll give Addison plenty of time to screenshot that. But yeah, no, I will put the link to last week's article in the comments. I'll put the link to this week's article when it comes out also in the comments. And everything else, you can find me at my new Twitter. It's right there. At Tyler FF Creator. If you're on the podcast feed, which is going to be on Apple soon.
I'm just waiting on the email. I've stopped even putting it on the other ones because nobody uses the other ones. So we're just gonna wait, and as soon as it gets back up there, it's gonna be available there, and I'll start promoting it
very soon. But anyway,
you guys are great.
All of you.
Good job, Tyler. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you in the next show.